Arena in the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
The other.
That's right, and for Wright State, quite a younger passing team this year. They graduated many of their passers, but still kept around a lot of their offense, so might struggle with the passing a little bit to begin with, but I expect them to get into a groove and see some offensive production.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You have 11 freshmen and sophomores on this team. You have 6 freshmen, 5 sophomores, so a lot of youth on this team, but the seniors and juniors you have, they're very, very good.
And to serve for the Cornhuskers, freshman Terea Sigler. And it'll be an ace serve off the platform of Katie Salco over there for the Raiders. 1-0 Nebraska.
Yeah, and so Terea Sigler's been very good serving this season, and she's only continued to get better. In that last game Nebraska had against Kentucky, her serving was a huge point, and them ending up getting the win in that 5th set.
Sigler again right at Salco. Yakabuchi to the middle. Bergen-Riley out to Virginia Adriano. She tips it over. Salco going to take a standing down ball, and it'll be out.
Yeah, it's just a simple mistake there for Wright State, and something that you're going to want to look to clean up a little bit, but you can still feel the nerves a little bit for the Raiders. I mean, there's a lot of people in the John Cook Arena at the Bob Devaney Sports Center at the moment, and that's a lot for a team that really isn't used to this.
Yeah, we've got people lining the standing room only in the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Salco takes a shot down the line. It'll be outside the antenna for Nebraska's 3rd point.
But that's a good-looking shot for Salco and something you're going to live with. Take a look at this here. This is a good set from Yakabuchi, just a little bit too tight, but that will work, and you've got to keep going back to that.
Travers Green told us earlier today that they're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to go for some things and be okay with some errors. Yakabuchi over to Elena Dubuque, saved by Sigler. Choboy gets it over. Yakabuchi to the middle, and it'll be in for Taylor Bransfield over for Wright State's 1st point.
That's a really good spot for Taylor Bransfield, and that's just volleyball IQ, understanding where can I exploit this. But let's take a look here. It's the effort from Terea Sigler. We saw a Sports Center top 10 level play in Kentucky for the Huskers, and the freshman continues to do that in the back row.
Just putting it all out on the floor. As a freshman, you really got to earn and show them you need it on the court, and that's an ace over there for Wright State.
Yeah, for McKee, that's an impressive ace. She's going to push that all the way to the back line, trying to force Nebraska back in their defense.
Riley over to Adriano, cross-court kill. 4-2 Nebraska.
That's a good servination for Adriano and something she's used to. She played in some of those top pro leagues over there in Italy, came over this year to Nebraska, wanted to give collegiate volleyball a chance, and it's been a warm reception for her. She's been playing well.
Especially as a freshman over there on the right side. Lots of responsibility. Choboy serve. Salco's going to take a swing. Blocked. Salco again with the out of system. Dug by Choboy. Sigler out of the back row. Salco's going to take another swing, gets it down the line, right past Bergen-Riley for a kill.
And I like Salco. Again, they're going back to that line shot. That last time they tried that went outside of the antenna, but it was a good-looking shot. This time they're going to go back to the same one, over the top of the block from Virginia Adriano, straight down the line. It's a good shot.
Bergen-Riley giving a little bit more space to the line. Salco snuck it in there. Salco to serve now. Annie Jackson gets one out of the middle. Yakabuchi to Bransfield on the slide. Murray tips it over. Saved, but sent out of bounds by Salco.
That's a fun little rally there, and Wright State finding the scrappiness. Travers Green said the passing has been a point of emphasis lately, something they'd like to improve on. But right there, you're seeing the scrappiness. That's a good way to pop that up off the block and then sending it over. Again, a little bit too much power. Nebraska going to get the point out of it.
It'll be the freshman Adriano on the serve. Overpass by Salco, and Harper Murray taking advantage.
And Virginia Adriano has a really tough serve. If you watch it, it's really aggressive. And here, off of an overpass, Harper Murray, she's going to take a big swing at it. That's almost a great set for Harper Murray.
Adriano back at the line again, and Salco passing that ball earlier. Yakabuchi outside, and it's pushed through by Maya Iro.
That's a That's tough to be able to shove that through the block. She was a UConn transfer in 2023, and Coach Green has continued to be impressed with her production on the court as she continues to be able to hit that ball so hard, and that's really what she's known for in the locker room.
Sigler going to take a big swing out of the back row. She'll get the kill in the deep corner.
So what's interesting there with Terea Sigler, she's only playing the back row of Taylor Landfair, but they're beginning to use her more into the offense. And right there, you're sitting in the middle back, and there's no block up for Wright State. That's a wide open net for Sigler to hit into.
Yakabuchi now on the slide. Dug up by Mauk. Taylor Landfair, roll shot. Yakabuchi back to the middle, and Riley Zagunis. Salco pass up to Yakabuchi. Zagunis getting lots of touches this rally. Taylor Landfair taking a big swing, and she'll get the touch off the block. Wright State immediately arguing no touch.
Looks like they might be pulling the challenge card. We'll take a look here. That's a tough angle. I'm not sure, Olivia, either way, but a point of emphasis for Nebraska lately has been getting that outside.
Kill will be changed. The ball was out. No touch off the block. Wright State right back in it.
Yeah, and again, a good challenge. We talked about it, you know, taking that risk. If you're Wright State, do you do it, do you not? Travers Green definitely saw that, and it's a good challenge for him early.
Early win for Green in the Raiders as Lauren Yakabuchi, the setter we talked about so highly of earlier, will head to the service line.
Yeah, she's been fun to watch as time has gone on. Last season she was fun, and then in the first 3 games this year she's been fun.
Landfair going to take another swing. Blocked. Back out to Landfair. Yakabuchi chasing that one down. Free balled over. Chance for Nebraska. Jackson on the slide. She'll get the kill.
And what we've seen more from Andy Jackson this year has been a lot more placement on that slide. It hasn't been all power. This time when you watch her come in, she's tracking the defenders. Where do I take this? And she understands that deep cross is going to be the spot with only one defender there.
Andy Jackson now to serve, and Manaya Ogbeche will check in for Nebraska. So no libero on the court. Iro going to take a swing. Airo, excuse me. She'll get the kill. Kind of an awkward hit. Got it off the top of the Nebraska block there.
And I think it's in some ways it's you'll take it. You know, how do I figure out how to get points? And you're right, off balance. That's a tough adjustment to be fading to your left to try to hit that with your right. It's good placement.
Ella Gayona now for the Raiders. Right at Showboy. Riley will take it over on 2. Out of system set to Salco, and she'll tip it wide. Point Nebraska.
And with Bergen Riley, so that's all set up by Bergen Riley winning that joust, which she's been good at since her freshman year, winning those jousts. But then for Salco, she's trying to push things down the line and trying to get as close to the pin and that out of bounds line as she can get. And it's worked sometimes, but there you see, not going to work every time.
Riley going right back out. Salco, she'll take a swing. Taylor Landfair, Harper Murray out of the back row. And how big has she been from the back row so far this season?
I mean, she was paramount in the reverse sweep against Kentucky that Nebraska had last weekend in Nashville, Tennessee. She ended that game with 23 kills, but out of the back row, she was lethal. And again, with only one blocker up there, that's a huge wide open net for Harper Murray to swing at.
Salco tips it over. Riley's going to have to dive and save it. Just out of reach for Virginia Adriano. A little bit of a miscommunication there from the Nebraska defense, but a smart tip by Katie Salco.
Yeah, it is, and that's what Salco's been good at. She was good at that these first 3 games, and she continues to do that. She knows where to place the volleyball, and sometimes it's IQ over power.
The middle. Zagunis now back to serve. Adriano going to take a big rip, and it's a solo block for Katie Salco.
Huge block for Katie Salco, only 6 foot tall. I say only, but compared to Virginia Adriano with 6'5", this is a big block, and it's all about timing there for Katie Salco. She moves well, and you can see the press, and she just hung in the air longer.
Zagunis, that serve wide. So Tegan Corstange will come back in for the Raiders, and Terea Sigler now in for Taylor Landfair.
And Sigler from that service line, she's been fun this year, and she continues to only improve. Only a freshman, and then playing that back row for Landfair, you can tell just how elite that back row defense is.
Sigler floats it, kept alive by Yakabuchi. Salco goes back to the tip. And it's Sigler again diving, but Ogbeche's tip just out of bounds. What hustle have we seen from her already, just 20 points into this match?
We really have. We've seen a ton of hustle, but what I'm impressed with right now is Wright State. They're forcing Nebraska out of system and causing chaos. That time it was off the block touch of Manaya Ogbeche, and then she throws that ball out of bounds, but Wright State's doing a great job of that.
And Greta McKee will get the ace for the Raiders. Got her bench excited.
11-10 now. Wright State showing some fight, only down by one here, and they've really quieted down this home crowd.
McKee again. Choboy off the top of the net. Adriano going to take a swing, finds the hole in the block for a kill.
It's good termination there for Virginia Adriano. That's a quicker set and a faster tempo, something that Virginia Adriano has had to work to adjust to a little bit as she's gotten into the States. But there you see the block a little bit late, and Adriano, a lot of space there for her to execute.
Lainey Choboy to serve now, and it's just wide. Serving right at Greta McKee, but she'll miss.
A lot of the philosophies for coaches is if you're going to miss a serve, you'd rather it go long than not far enough. If it goes long, you have a chance of somebody playing it, somebody touching it. But if it goes into the net, there's no chance for any of that.
Katie Salco now to the back. She'll serve. Andy Jackson tips it over. Yakabuchi on the slide to Bransfield. Sigler has to take the second ball. Yakabuchi dumps it over for the kill. Just a giant hole right in the middle of the Nebraska defense.
And that's great awareness from that setter. Her to make you want setters to be aggressive. And right now, Wright State, they have it all tied up on the road.
And earlier, Travers Green told us what a privilege it is to be able to play in a place like this. And an ace for Katie Salco to take their first lead of the match.
Right now, the serving has been fantastic for the Raiders, forcing Nebraska out of system. They've been acing them, and now a 1-point lead on the road against the #1 team in the country.
And he talked about having a belief coming into this match, playing the underdog role, but knowing that you can do it and believing in not only yourself, but the people around you. And with that, Katie Salco serves it just a bit long, and Virginia Adriano will head to the service line.
Last time she was at the line, she got herself an ace, and she did some damage at the service line. Adriano,
like we said, 6'5", huge height from the service line, can really make a downward trajectory on the ball. Aro gonna try and keep up with that swing, but timing was off between her and Yakabuchi. That'll fall on the Raider side of the net.
That's a pretty tall task to be able to go up and grab that ball, and for Yakabuchi trying to go quick, trying to go to the outside, and sometimes that connection not always there.
Adriano to serve yet again. Salco passed up this time. Yakabuchi reverses to Bransfield. Recovered by the Raiders. Aro going to take a swing, and it's blocked by Andy Jackson and Bergen Riley.
Yeah, it's a tough block up there with Andy Jackson and Bergen Riley, but what really did it was they're pushing them out of system. So that tip was going to have to come across, and that block is tracking the entire way. That's exactly what you want to do.
Nebraska leads 15-13, and we'll head down to our third member of the crew, Trey Marler.
It's been service aces. They've had 3 of them, and they've been serving very well, forcing Nebraska out of system and causing chaos.
Adriano will serve. Aro gonna tip it over and just right in front of Lainey Choboy.
So what's interesting here with Wright State, a lot of coaches, they're not a fan of the tip, but Wright State is utilizing it, and they're having success with it. Right there in the middle, first of all, Aro is way up in the air. She's hanging over that block so she can choose where she wants to put that ball.
Tegan Corstange now to serve for the Raiders. Lainey Choboy gonna have to take the second ball. Big rip from Harper Murray. Nearly saved by Yakabuchi and or Greta McKee over there right off the edge of the scorer's table, but it'll be a kill for Harper Murray.
Yeah, it's a good swing too. She's in the gap, which is that area kind of right between the outside and the pin, and then the middle. She's in the gap right there off of a bump set. It's good kill.
After the kill, Murray will go to the service line. Salco gonna down ball it over. Lainey Choboy's under it. Jackson on the slide, finds some open court. Nebraska leads 17-14.
And for Nebraska, the middles can be so powerful offensively in getting something going, and that's what Andy Jackson is trying to do right now with Nebraska leading by 3.
Murray to serve again. And Iro going to take a big swing, dug by Harper Murray. Landfair tight ball, perfectly placed tip. Nebraska starting to feel it, and certainly this crowd as well.
Yeah, the crowd's starting to get themselves back into it. And for Harper Murray, that's a huge dig to then set it up with Taylor Landfair. Nobody home on that right side of the court. That's a simple tip for Landfair.
And during that media timeout, Nebraska might have pulled it together a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit more offensive production from them. We'll be right back with more. Thanks, Trey. Quite an impressive stat for Nebraska. 45 straight home matches inside the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Can they make it 46 tonight?
And that's the question, and that's another one of those goals for the Huskers. You know, keep on winning at home. And with them leading right now by 4, Wright State hanging around.
Yakabuchi and Riley Zagunis just trying to tap it over, sneak it over the block, not enough behind it.
Yeah, and again, the timing just not quite there, and Zagunis going for the tip, but you see that big block. It forced Zagunis to have to try to tip it over to the left and not straight into that block.
Harper Murray gets the ace serve with a little help from the net, and Nebraska has now taken a 6-point lead.
A little bit of love from the tape never hurt, and Harper Murray is using all of it as she hit that ball nearly directly into it, and it just rolled over.
Murray again right at Salco. It's been a trend this game, and Aero, huge swing off the block.
Yeah, and that'll go to Nebraska, whacked off the pin for Aero. It was set really tight to the pin, and then Bergen Riley forcing her to go down the line, taking away any possible shot.
Murray serves again. Yakabuchi right back to Aero. Diving dig by Choboy. Landfair big swing. It'll be set by McKee. Riley to Landfair. Tough tip right to the middle of the court for a kill.
And a lot of times you see Rebecca Alec utilize the power tip, but there it's Taylor Landfair, and there's nobody home in the middle of the court, so whether you come with power or a tip, that's going to be the wide open spot.
And when you take big swings like Jalen Reyes and Danny Busboom Kelly have been talking about, that opens up a little bit more court for the tip, and with that, Harper Murray serve is long, and Lauren Yakabuchi will serve for the Raiders.
Yeah, and for Lauren, she's had a good start to this set, and she's done a good job commanding her team, but now down by 7, you're going to have to find a way to go on a little bit of a run here at the service line.
Riley out to Landfair, takes a big swing right off the arms of Tegan Korstange into the Husker crowd.
And Taylor Landfair, the 2022 Big Ten Player of the Year, transferred from Minnesota last year to Nebraska, and that is some of that Big Ten Player of the Year power.
Andy Jackson now to serve for the Huskers. Katie Salco, perfect pass. Aero tries to tip it over, and Zagunis is just going to have to free ball it over. It's Olivia Mauk. Ogbeche on the slide, and she'll get the kill.
And Manaya Ogbeche, the freshman from Santa Rosa Valley, California. And look at her go. She's going to get up on this slide. A beautiful set right in between the block, and we have set point.
Andy Jackson to serve for the set. And it's Aero on the right side of the court for the kill to keep the Raiders alive.
And Maya Aero swings with a heavy arm. Even her head coach, Travers Green, said that when we talked to him this afternoon. There's a lot of power there. That's what she's known for, and that's what she's going to give you right there, is a lot of power.
Huskers fans are on their feet, and Ella Gayona serving to keep them in this set. And Bergen Riley will take it over on 2 to take set number 1, 25-16.
We saw the setter done from Yakabuchi, and now we're seeing it from Riley. Set 1 will go to the Huskers by 9.
Come back for set 2. You're watching volleyball out of the Raiders' hands.
And, I mean, talk about good for the Raiders. Maya Aero was fun in the first set. She swings with power, but then there's the IQ behind it. She can place the ball anywhere on the court.
And speaking of IQ, Yakabuchi with such a high IQ is getting her the ball when she can, but also incorporating the middles enough to open up some space for her outsides in Iro and Salco. Salco to start for the second set, and it's Ogbeche to get point 1 for Nebraska. Only her third set she's played this season and already making her mark.
Yeah, she is. She's a freshman from Santa Rosa Valley, California, getting the start there in set 1, and she's played well thus far. 2 kills on 3 swings, hitting .333. Not too bad for your first ever start in Nebraska.
Lady Choboy with the serve, and then it's Bransfield on the slide to get the kill.
And Bransford on that slide, that block's pulled back a little bit. If you watch this, the block's pulled back a little bit, and then Andy Jackson a little late getting there, so Bransfield understanding that hits it right off of the forearm of Jackson.
Of course, Strange serves now. Riley will go to Adriano. She tries the roll shot. It's into the bottom of the tape.
And sometimes for Adriano, you see she's pulled off of the net, so trying for that roll shot, just gonna get it a little bit more up, but you see the vision. But that all works out as well. That Wright State block right there to make that tough for Adriano.
Taking course Strange now with the rocket serve. It'll be an overpass from Murray. And then Aero hits it out of bounds.
And for Maya Aero, you can see her kind of covering her mouth with her hands. She can't believe that she just did that, but it's almost the low-hanging fruit of volleyball. You get really excited, you can't wait to do it, but then you hit it out of bounds, and it's actually a lot harder than it seems to pull that off.
Olivia Mauk now with the serve. Yakabuchi out to Aero. She'll take a big rip down the line, right off the arms of Olivia Mauk into the crowd.
Tell you what, that's a good way to adjust to it. That's a great way to make up. Swinging with power and going straight down the line into the right shoulder of Olivia Mauk.
A little bit of redemption there from Aero on the swing before. Yakabuchi to serve. Choboy. Murray, big rip, and nobody in sight for the Raiders.
Harper Murray, when she gets a good set and when she's rolling, that is nearly impossible to stop. Going cross, deep line, nobody home.
And just a single block up for the Raiders as Riley Zagunis jumped with Bergen Riley. Katie Salco with the perfect pass. Lainey Choboy diving dig. It'll go out of bounds.
And once again, Maya Aero continuing to work. She's got 6 kills, hitting .154.
Lots of swings for Aero at 13, where the Nebraska side, the most is 4 in Harper Murray. Ella Gayona now to serve for the Raiders. Riley goes out to Skylar Pierce, her first swing of the set.
And Skylar Pierce, first swing, first kill. She's continued to play a little bit, redshirted last year as a freshman, so now in her redshirt freshman season, she's come in, she's played a little bit. She played briefly in that Kentucky game to help try to reinvigorate the Nebraska offense.
And we've seen Danny Busboom Kelly experiment with a lineup a little bit. So Sky Pierce getting some touches in here, Agbeche getting a couple touches.
And Wright State offensively working into the middle. So right there, Bergen Riley's automatically going to the outside, waiting for that set. So then Yakabuchi, a good notice to just go to the middle.
Sky Pierce try that set just a little bit too high from Bergen Riley. And as a setter, when you're seeing so many different hitters in a game, it can be difficult to adjust. They're not all the same height. So tough set there by Riley, but Wright State now up 6-4.
Yeah, they're playing really well in the start of set 2, and you can see the composure early.
Beche with another kill. And that'll be her 3rd kill of the evening.
Yeah, and she's played well so far. She's going to go off the hands here of that block, and it's from Katie Salco. Salco's block not small at all, but when you're going at a faster tempo, the block a little bit late. Obeche able to slap it off, and it goes way out of bounds.
Bergen Riley now to serve. Pass by Corstange. Yakabuchi to the right side. Alina Dubuque. Murray out of the back row, tries the roll shot. Yakabuchi to Salco. Big block from Virginia Adriano and Agbeche.
And Manaya Obeche into the middle, staying strong. When you watch some of the scrimmages from earlier in the season, that was really the mark she left on a lot of fans, was her blocking as a freshman was very high level. Gayona
pass. Yakabuchi to the middle, and Bransfield, it'll be out. But a good aggressive swing from Taylor Bransfield.
Yeah, and she's looking to go high hands off that and no touch, but you like that quick tempo in the middle, and you like going for that shot, and Wright State now only down by 1.
Riley serves at Salco. Yakabuchi going to give it back to her. Tipped over And Adriano just gets caught up on the way down. Point Raiders.
And it's just an off-speed hit that's going to go into that block and force Adriano to try to dig it out. And it hits off her hand. It almost sticks in her hand as it comes down. That would have been tough to get it unstuck from the hand and then be able to hit it back up.
Greta McKee now for the Raiders. Barely kept alive by Pierce. Adriano going to have to joust it. Free ball over from Katie Sauco in the Raiders. And no block for Manat Obeche. What a statement from her.
The freshman can swing with power in the middle. Like you said, no block, a wide open net, and that's going to be a highlight for Obeche.
She'll now lead the team with Harper Murray with 4 kills as Terea Sigler heads to the back line. Greta McKee, perfect pass. Sauco, big rip, but Adriano and Obeche are there with the wall.
And Virginia Adriano, she's a big block at 6'5", but she also has so much experience blocking, and you can see they're pushing down perfectly in that reverse sweep against Kentucky that Nebraska played. She was a key piece in the block on the right side.
Sigler serve, another great pass by McKee. Bransfield on the slide, diving dig by Choboy. Murray's just gonna have to send it over. Yakabuchi to the outside. Dug by Riley. Out of system ball for Murray. She tries the roll shot. She'll get it again. Big swing this time. And this time gets the kill off the hand of Greta McKee.
So it's funny, you see Harper Murray try to go with the roll shot. She's going to try to shove it into the block and try for that high IQ play. She gets it the second time. It's going to be all power over the block and down.
And as an outside, you just have to be able to take swing after swing after swing in a rally like that. Harper Murray does that so well. Terea Sigler, the freshman at the line again. Yakabuchi outside. That'll be Audrey Hudson for the Raiders, getting a swing on the outside.
Yeah, for Hudson, again, you're looking to go off of the hands there and out.
And the call will be overturned, so the second overturned call of the night. Ball out. The point will go to Nebraska.
Both teams a successful challenge.
It's got to feel good if you're Danny Busboom Kelly. Get the first challenge right in the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Terea Sigler still at the line for the Huskers. And she'll serve at the net, so won the challenge, but then slowed the momentum a little bit maybe.
That'll break up a 4-0 scoring run for the Huskers on that service error from Sigler. Make it a 3-point game, 11-8, but now for Wright State, it's about minimizing errors. Serving inbounds, passing well, doing things right, and forcing Nebraska to make the mistake.
Audrey Hudson now for the Raiders. Maya Aero checks back in. That serve will be long. Fiona Cooper in also for the Raiders, so Lauren Yakabuchi taking a seat on the sidelines, and Fiona Cooper will take charge of this Raider offense.
It's exciting. We'll get to see a new setter here for the Raiders and see what she can do.
Lainey Choboy to serve now. Passed up by McKee. Aero going to take a big swing right off the platform of Lainey Choboy.
And the thing is right now with Maya Aero, she's getting good sets, which is from good passing. And then this block isn't forcing her to have to adjust very much. She's there, she's in system, and the block late on both ends, so she didn't have to be uncomfortable.
Murray going to take a big swing off the high ball. Pancake dig by McKee. Can't be saved. Kill for Harper Murray.
You got to love the effort by McKee to get it up, and then you just see the panic ensue on the court of, we have to get this up, there's got to be something, and then running into the bodies. Nothing you can do about that for Harper Murray. Again, she continues to have success tonight.
And the new setter in. Typically, you want your setter getting that second ball. Fiona Cooper trying to find a way to get more comfortable here. Harper Murray on the overpass from McKee. Monster swing from Murray on the outside.
7th kill of the match for Harper Murray, and she's hitting over 500 at the moment.
Murray coming off her career-high kills against Kentucky and sticking to it. Hudson up to Cooper. Aero tips it over, dug by Murray. Riley gonna go to Ziegler out of the back row. Kept alive. Cooper over to Aero again. Mauk diving save on the sideline. Murray a little bit of off speed. Cooper to the middle and Zagunis. Ziegler gonna take another swing out of the back row. Hudson with some great defense. And Aero takes a huge swing, gets a touch, and wins quite the rally.
Yeah, she does. And for her to end it on that, she's going to go high hands straight down the line with that, and that's just IQ. She sees those hands of Bergen Riley, and you even watch that ball tick up off of the block. No doubt that was off those hands.
Yakabuchi back in to serve for the Raiders. Fiona Cooper will head back to the bench. Lainey Choboy pass Ziegler out of the back row, but it'll be called a back row attack, which means she stepped over that 10-foot line.
Yeah, when you're hitting out of the back row, you cannot step over the 10-foot line when you're jumping. If you land over the 10-foot line, that's fine. You just cannot take off from over the 10-foot line.
Yakabuchi to serve again. Choboy handling it well. Murray, big swing, kept up by Hudson. It'll be Aero off the block. Andy Jackson on the slide, blocked. Bergen Riley out to Harper Murray, and she'll get the final kill. Nebraska leads 15-11.
And Harper Murray that time just forcing it through the block, but what a rally there from Wright State, showing the scrappy defense.
And specially curated digital channels that highlight your favorite Big Ten school 24/7. Explore all Big Ten Plus has to offer on the app or at BigTenPlus.com. What a cool experience as a student to be on Big Ten Plus. As we come back for set 2, Nebraska leads 15-11. Harper Murray with a short serve. Aero taking a swing from the right side, just out of reach of Olivia Malcolm. What a heavy swing from Maya Aero.
And it's caused some problems right now for the Nebraska block. And the issue is right now with that swing from Aero, when it's coming off, you really don't know where it's going to be at. You kind of got to guess a little bit, and you just have to hope that that blocks aren't able to cover.
Ella Gayona now for the Raiders. Perfect pass by Lainey Choboy. Harper Murray from the right side this time. She said, if you can do it, so can I. Nebraska leads 16-12.
That's her 9th kill of the game thus far. And you see her just targeting Tegan Korstange.
Andy Jackson now to serve, and Obeche back in the lineup. Yakabuchi to the middle, Zagunis. Sky Pierce gonna take a swing. Blocked and covered by Olivia Mauk. Obeche. Gayona gonna take the second ball set, and it's blocked by Sky Pierce and Manaya Obeche.
And it's a bunch of big swings for Nebraska. And when you're doing that, it kind of limits what Wright State can do. It's going to force them a little bit out of system. Those passes aren't quite going to be on cue. So then you're able to work a little bit more with that block.
Andy Jackson's serve goes into the net. A little bit of life from Wright State Raiders as Riley Zagunis heads to the back line, and Taylor Bransfield comes back into the game.
As Zagunis going to that service line as she's continued to impress today.
Bergen Riley back to the middle, and Manaya Obeche just making herself available tonight.
Yeah, she has, and that's what's been great about Obeche is, like you said, she's made herself available, and she's been economical when she's gotten the ball. She's getting kills, she's making quick work of it, and you feel this tempo getting quicker and quicker for Nebraska every time they go to the middle.
Yakabuchi to her middle, Taylor Bransfield, dug by Bergen Riley. Sky Pierce going to have to take an out-of-system swing. She tries the roll shot. Bergen Riley keeps it alive. Out to Sky Pierce. It's a tight ball. Joust at the net. Won by Sky Pierce and Nebraska.
That is an incredibly tough ball to get to Skylar Pierce, and then she's able to reward her by winning the joust, but having to go all the way to the outside with that, and then for Pierce having to track that ball, that's a difficult play.
Nebraska leads 19-13 here in set 2. We'll be back with Wright Moore. You're watching volleyball on Big.
Only a freshman getting her first start of the day today. 5 kills on 7 swings, hitting .571, and then with that, 3 blocks to add to it.
Be Bergen Riley to serve right out of the timeout. Taylor Bransfield forced to tip it over. Right back to Obeche. She pulls it back towards this right back corner for the kill this time.
I mean, Manaya Obeche has the ball on a string right now. That ball's set up. Everything's looking like it's going to go right. Obeche pulls it quickly back. She competed in the Under Armour All-American game. In being incredibly athletic and good at sports, it comes pretty naturally in this family. Her dad played football at Stanford, and her aunt is in the Volleyball Hall of Fame at Harvard. So high-level academics and high-level athletics for Manaya Obeche and her family.
That's exactly right. And now Greta McKee will come in to serve for the Raiders, looking to give them a little bit of service momentum here, maybe a little bit of a service run. Serves at Sky Pierce. Riley jump set. Adriano out of the middle this time. It's tipped over. One arm save by McKee. Riley to Adriano on the right side this time for the kill.
And you love the adjustment from Adriano. She's trying to go tip in the middle, adjust back to that right side where she's comfortable, gets a really good approach as well. It's a quick 1-2, and then she's up right in between the block.
Terea Sigler now back in to the lineup for Sky Pierce. She'll serve as Nebraska leads 20-14. Corstange takes first ball. Yakabuchi to Bransfield, but Harper Murray and Manaya Obeche are there.
And Nebraska has been known this season for how good their block is. They're first in the Big Ten before this game with 40.5 blocks through 4 games, and they were first in block assists with 77.
The Raiders now hitting 0, so Nebraska, a really great team at keeping other teams down and doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, they have. They've done a good job, and Virginia Adriano not only blocks that ball back, ends up contacting her right as she hits that ball, and that's just some tough luck for Audrey Hudson. She comes up, big swing, gets blocked, trying to avoid it, and the ball comes right down and hits her.
It's wrong place, wrong time.
Yep.
If you're swinging into a huge block like that. Sigler with the serve. It's passed back over. Free ball for Nebraska to Obeche. Off the arms of Greta McKee into the crowd, and Manaya Obeche with yet another kill.
Manaya Obeche, I hope she's having a good day because she is having a great first start to her Husker collegiate career. I mean, look at this. Wide open there, straight in between the block, and she's playing like she's a lot older than a freshman.
Another freshman serving still in Terea Sigler. 3 freshmen on the court currently for this Nebraska lineup. Yakabuchi to Aro out of the back row and pushes it through the block of Harper Murray.
And that time you go back to Aro, and I like that thought. The block is up there, but she's going to bring a lot of power and shove it through the block. And not only are you going to get a point off this, you're going to get a little bit more momentum and confidence back for everybody else on that sideline when they see that ball pushed through the block.
Katie Salco serve, high pass from Harper Murray to the right side. Adriano making something happen.
And that's all set up. Harper Murray. That's a great bump set all the way out there to Adriano.
Such a tough ball to hit, too. It's coming from across the court. It's so high in the air, and Adriano just goes up and gets it done. Lady Choboy now to serve for set 2 for the Huskers. McKee, perfect pass to Yakabuchi. Aro, big swing. And she'll get the kill, keeping the Raiders alive.
Aro's done such a good job of utilizing and not being afraid of that block. She's going to attack it right there off of the hands of Virginia Adriano, and that ball just going to dance on that Nebraska side.
Adriano just a little bit late, getting her hands pressed over. This she'll take a big swing, and she'll get set 2's final kill. Nebraska wins 25-16 yet again.
It's a good set for Nebraska. They look strong throughout it, but Wright State has these fun moments where they look very, very good. This one should be a good third set.
Yeah, and I would expect to see Danny Busboom-Kelly maybe experiment with the lineup a little bit more here in set 3. You're watching volleyball on Big Ten Plus.
So a little bit of history with Danny Busboom-Kelly, but with the program of Nebraska, no history at all. Tonight, the first matchup between these two teams in history. And it's been a fun one. 25-16 has been the score of both of these sets, but they've been back and forth in competitive thus far.
The beginning of both sets 1 and 2 have been back and forth, point to point, a couple different lead changes, a couple ties, and then Nebraska just seems to find a way to pull away at the end. And I think that's a little bit due to those Wright State errors that we were looking at earlier, but Nebraska's offense just turning it on towards the end. Treya Sigler will serve for the beginning of set 3. Yakabuchi over to Bransfield, and she'll get the tip off the block for point 1, and you see that bench for Wright State still in this game cheering them on.
It's actually been kind of fun to watch the Wright State bench. They've been electric this whole time, but how can you not when they're continuing to make plays? And I've been so impressed with the composure of this Raider team.
Tegan Corstange serves that one into the net. No help from the tape there.
And what's interesting is you see head coach Travers Green. Corstange misses the serve, and automatically he looks at her, gives her a thumbs up, and is shaking his head. That's good, that's okay. He wanted to have that ball skimmed across the tape.
He told us earlier today that he really wants this team to live in the present. Sure, you might learn something from the play before, but he really wants them to move on and move on to the next play, and what can they do to earn this next point?
Looks like they've been doing that well. Lainey Choboy with the service error, so Wright State right back at it.
And it's Yakabuchi for the Raiders. Riley to the middle off the net. Jackson just going to tip it over. Yakabuchi out to Aero. Jackson again with the tip, but this will get called for a carry.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to be called. Andy Jackson, all signs pointed to carry. We'll let you be the judge of it here. Bergen Riley's going to go up. It's a good set in for Jackson. She just palms the volleyball and throws it. Now you can power tip, but throwing it, can't do that.
Adriano going to get the kill from the right side, right on that outside of the block, and past that Wright State defense.
Virginia Adriano's been fun tonight. She's been used in a lot more than we've seen her in some of these past few games. And for Nebraska, a point of emphasis for assistant coach Jalen Reyes was getting the ball to the right sides more, having them execute at a higher clip, and tonight Adriano's done that.
There's Adriano with a service error, just long, so Wright State now with a 4-2 lead early in set 3.
And Wright State off to a hot start, and this is what you want to see from this team. They have nothing to lose. They're on the road here in set 3. It's win or go home time, and it's really a good show of how resilient can they be.
Ella Gaona now to serve for the Raiders. Pass by Choboy. Jackson on the slide. She gets it to the back line for the kill.
And it's really interesting to watch this slide from Jackson. A lot of the times, Bergen Riley likes that into the gap. She likes to run a little bit quicker. This time, it's a little bit slower developing, and she pushes Annie Jackson all the way out to that right pin and gives her a lot of room to operate.
Yakabuchi to the middle, Zagunis, covered by Corstange. And then it's Dubuque over on the right side, right down the line.
Yeah, she's been really heating up in this third set. Elena Dubuque, the senior right side at 5'11", she's part of that group that head coach Travers Green talks about. A lot of experience they bring back and a lot of offensive power.
Zagunis to serve. Riley off the net to Sky Pierce. It's kept alive, and Sauco going to take a big rip. She'll catch the high hands of that Nebraska block, and Wright State leads 6-3.
Yeah, look at that, a 3-point lead for the Raiders, and Katie Sauco clear as day off of the hands of Bergen Riley. And this Raiders team is rolling here early in set 3.
Zagunis' serve is just long. Manaya Obeche will come back into the game. Lainey Choboy will take an exit. Maisie Boziger going to be a service sub here for Andy Jackson.
Now Maisie Boziger, she's going to get her chance in this one. Her senior year this year, she's really seen it all. She's been a really big part of this program throughout her years, and you hear the warm reception she gets when she checks into the game.
Boziger, the Nebraska native, passed up by Gaona. Sauco going to take a swing off the arm of Harper Murray. Olivia Mount going to try and save it. Not high enough for anyone to get under, so Katie Sauco will get the kill. Wright State leads 7-4.
Gotta love the hustle from Mauk, diving into the bench of Nebraska, and right by Andy Jackson. Got a hand on it, but there was nothing anybody could have done with that ball.
It'll be Greta McKee now to serve for the Raiders. Perfect pass by Mauk. Riley out to Pierce. Tries for the corner, but it's just long. So now the Raiders with a 4-point lead.
At 8-4 now in set number 3. It's been a few Nebraska errors, but it's been a lot of good execution on part of Wright State.
McKee's serve, some help from the tape, kept alive by Bergen Riley. Sky Pierce going to take a big swing. Of course, Stange is under it. Sauko with the tip. And she finds some court.
And Katie Sauko continues to have success tipping the volleyball. A lot of coaches against the tip. They want their players to hit with power. But right now, Olivia, if you're going to have success with that tip, why not?
That's right, and Danny Busboom Kelly and the Cornhuskers will take a timeout.
Nationally recognized sculpture artist and Nebraska native George Lundeen has been commissioned to produce the life-size tribute to Cook and his career. The new John Cook Arena signage and the bronze statue will all be dedicated on Thursday, September 18th, according to Nebraska Athletics.
Thanks, Trey. How cool, John Cook being honored in a place where he's done so much for so many people.
And not only here in Nebraska, but for the sport of volleyball and for women's sports in general, he has been a catalyst in the building of women's sports.
Diving save by Lainey Choboy to keep this point alive. Gayona going to take a out-of-system set to Sauko. Obeche tips it right over. Yakabuchi to Bransfield on the slide. She'll find the back line right past Lainey Choboy.
Taylor Bransfield, holy cow, a huge swing down the line for her. And I mean, there was some heat behind that ball, Olivia.
Yes, there was, and Taylor Bransfield getting involved in this offense, it helps open up some space maybe for those outsides, and Maya Aero and Katie Sauko. Sauko to serve, overpass by Sky Pierce. Raiders will take an out-of-system swing. Aero, that ball rides the tape, and it ends up out of bounds.
And that's always such an interesting play when you're watching it ride the tape, because both teams, you can see them just tracking it. Is this going to fall on our side? Is it not? And if you're Wright State, you're just praying that ball falls on the Nebraska side, and you're able to keep it in bounds.
Wright State with a 4-point lead here in set 3. Terea Sigler to serve. Sauko pass to Yakabuchi. Aero, big swing off the block of Adriano and Obeche.
Yeah, and off that block, Wright State has done a great job of using the block to their advantage. You see it right here on the outside. Obeche a little bit late, but she targets the right elbow of Virginia Adriano.
Riley, one-handed save, and it's nearly kept alive by the Raiders. Harper Murray, huge swing and an even greater set from Bergen Riley.
That's a fantastic set from Riley. She's running across the net to try to make this happen, popping it up with one arm and then trying to also avoid Harper Murray while doing that. There's a lot of parts to that set.
Lainey Choboy to serve for the Huskers. Yakabuchi, Aero, and that one's off the antenna. Nebraska now within 3.
And you see Nebraska starting to come back more and more, and you wonder now, Harper Murray sitting comfortably in the front row. Will Nebraska start to look to target her? She's kind of that consistent piece for the Nebraska offense.
Murray with 10 kills, no errors, hitting at .588. Yakabuchi out to Aero. Huge block from Adriano and Andy Jackson.
And Andy Jackson, massive block coming in on the middle, making a play. That's 6'5" and 6'3" out there against 5'11" Maya Aero. The height advantage is going to fall on the Huskers there.
Lainey Choboy's serve drops right in front. It's an overpass. Sigler handles it to the middle. Andy Jackson. Greta McKee chasing after it. Out of reach, past the bench of those Raiders, and now Nebraska within 1. This crowd is starting to talking about the Big Ten. Penn State playing tonight against Kentucky, who Nebraska beat last weekend in a reverse sweep. Lainey Choboy to serve now. Nebraska down by 1. Yakabuchi to the outside. Aero tips it over, handled by Murray. It'll be Adriano versus the one block. Dug by McKee. Tipped over by Zagunis. Lainey Choboy going to have to take the second ball. Murray, big rip, and it's just wide.
That dig from Greta McKee was huge. She knew she had to sell out there and try to get it there. With only one block, Virginia Adriano was going to be hitting at full force to McKee, and she makes a fantastic dig. And then Harper Murray trying to go off of that and looking for the sharp cut.
Yakabuchi to the back row in the service line for the Raiders. Andy Jackson takes a big swing. It's out of bounds. Just kidding. The other line judge called a touch. Bergen Riley was insistent there was a touch immediately. So now Nebraska down by 1.
And you see it on the pinky of Maya Aero. You see that ball hit it, and automatically everybody on that Nebraska side knew.
Olivia Mauk in for the Huskers. Yakabuchi to the right side. Aero, big swing, and that one's off the antenna. We're all tied at 12.
And Maya Aero has continued to have to hit really, really close to that antenna, and it's gotten her in trouble just a few times. But you see the block, it's forcing her there. There's nowhere that Aero could have gone unless she wants to just tip it over.
Mauk serving again, drop serve, kept up by court strings. And Maya Aero this time gets a big one off the block.
And she swings with power, and she's been doing it so far this season. She had 25 kills versus Drake, and she hit 255. That's in a huge reverse sweep win for Wright State.
And it was her birthday.
It's a great birthday.
Ella Gaona now. That serve just long. We're all tied up again at 13.
And you see Nebraska making their way back into this. They had a slower start, and you got to credit Wright State. They came out the gates firing, but now Nebraska back at home, all tied up at 13.
And in the previous 2 sets, this is about where Wright State started to make a few more errors, and Nebraska was going on quite a few more runs, so we should see how they adjust in this point in this set.
And that time you see the hit. It's a good swing from Salco. She's trying to go off the block and cut it down the line. Just missed the block.
Harper Murray serve deep. Pass by Gaona. Corstange going to take a stab at it. Salco just has to roll shot over. And Riley with the dump for a kill.
It's the second time she's done that today. That time it almost looked accidental at first with how quickly she flips that ball over and how calmly she's able to do that. First time was in that second set. It was a really good shot from Riley. And I think what's fun is she doesn't do it too often. It's just at the perfect time.
When she does get involved in that offense, it opens up a little bit more space for her hitters. Excellent dig by Lainey Choboy. Sky Pierce going to take a rip. Blocked by Zagunis. Another rip for Sky Pierce. She's calling for a touch. Initial call is out, and a point for the Raiders.
And it's funny to see because everybody on the... And the call was reversed. So we're again 0-1 on deciding that.
My foot is in my mouth. Okay. Nebraska now leads 16-14. Harper Murray will go back to serve. Sky Pierce will stay up front on the outside for Taylor Landfair.
I guess there's a reason everybody on the Nebraska side was so certain there was a touch.
Probably shouldn't second guess the hitter, but who are we? Yakabuchi to the right side. And that will be called a touch. This time Nebraska not arguing.
And you see Danny Busboom Kelly on the sideline. She's automatically arguing no touch because there wasn't a touch on the block. It was on Harper Murray. And you see the smile. She goes to argue with the official, and Murray comes running out saying, no, I hit it.
At least she's honest. Don't burn a challenge when you know you touched it. Lainey Choboy will go out. Maisie Boziger will enter the game again to serve. Nebraska now with a 3-point lead.
Now 17-14, they lead. They win this set, and this all ends Wright State fighting for that fourth.
Boziger serves. Pass by Gaona. It'll be Taylor Bransfield, and she'll get it through Obeche's block.
That's a strong swing from Bransfield, and she was intentional in what she wanted to do. She knew the only spot there was to go was either you're going to have to tip this ball or you're going to have to rifle it through the block. And Obeche was all the way stuck out with her hands trying to close that gap, and it's tough when you're that stretched out to press down.
Tough serve there from Wright State. Yakabuchi having to pass this one. It'll be set over by McKee. Bergen Riley going to take it over on 2, kept alive by Gaona. Bransfield on the slide, blocked. Gaona again, it'll be Hudson. She's trying to get a touch on the block. That one will go out.
So they seem pretty confident in a touch. Will they challenge? They will.
Quite a few challenges tonight from both sides. Audrey Hudson coming inside of that block and just trying to take it back, get it off the hands of Bergen Riley or Obeche. Travers Green is going to chance to reset, have a little bit of a conversation, and figure out what they're going to do to come back here in this must-win third set. Bergen Riley's serve drops it right in front of Greta McKee for the ace. Nebraska now with a 4-point lead.
And that's such a tough serve to track, because you watch it initially and it looks like it's going to fly over, you're going to end up in the back row, and then it just dies when it gets over the net.
Right back at McKee, this time kept up. Yakabuchi to Aero in the back row. Riley to Obeche. Yakabuchi to Bransfield on the slide, and what an effective swing from Taylor Bransfield right in between that left back and middle defender.
Yeah, Bransfield has been very good on this slide today, and not only bringing power, but dictating where she wants that ball to go. And for Nebraska, nobody was there. They were expecting a lot sharper cross, so that was a wide open spot.
Katie Sauco now back in for the Raiders, playing that back row for Audrey Hudson. Travers Green told us last year that was her primary role. She was a freshman, one of the only freshman passers, and got a lot of experience there. And that time, Obeche on the slide for the kill.
Been a fun night for the freshman. She continues to impress with her team now by 420-16, and she has been very, very good, and it's just looking mature for her throughout this game.
Terea Sigler back in for the Huskers. She'll serve. Sauco kept alive by Yakabuchi. It's a dig by Sigler. Lainey Choboy's going to have to track it down. High ball out to Murray. She'll tip it over. Yakabuchi going to go up against Murray, and Murray wins that battle.
Harper Murray at the net, winning the joust, and a lot of a joust.
We get Terea Sigler, the freshman for Nebraska. Wright State fighting to stay in this match. Yakabuchi out to Aero, and that's nearly at the 10-foot line.
Wow. I mean, I felt like we needed to just wait and gather ourselves after that. You can see the smile from Aero, and everybody's breath was taken away from that swing.
Just no block from Nebraska, but Obeche right back with her own swing, and just back-to-back power from both these teams.
And you can see this back and forth of power, as you said, from both of these teams, but it's set up by good passing and then fantastic sets, allowing these hitters to work.
And we talked about both of these setters in the pregame for a reason. Both do such a fantastic job distributing the ball. Yakabuchi now to Zagunis on the slide. Beautiful dig by Bergen Riley. Choboy out to Adriano, off the block and off the hand of Katie Sauco in the back row. Nebraska leads 23-17.
Virginia Adriano does a really good job here avoiding the pin. Watch how close this puts her. She's right there with the block and knows she's going to have to go cross, so she puts it off of the hand of Sauco, and that ball just goes into chaos.
Lainey Choboy now for Nebraska. Sauco passes it up. Iro going to take a big swing. Nebraska good block touch. Here's Harper Murray from the outside. A little roll shot right to the middle of the court. Simple yet effective.
Very effective, and now 24-17, match point Nebraska.
These Nebraska fans are on their feet. Lainey Choboy will serve for set 3 and the match, and for their 46th straight win potentially. Passed up by Sauco. Aero going to take a tip, dug by Bergen Riley. Adriano, tough ball. Wright State lives to see another point.
It would have been fantastic if Virginia Adriano would have been able to pull that off. She was tight to that up official, and there was nowhere she was going to go with that ball. And like you said, Wright State, they're still right here.
Yakabuchi to the service line for the Raiders. Passed by Choboy, Andy Jackson. Big swing, and it's just wide. And Bergen Riley's been very effective with the middles tonight, but that swing from Andy Jackson just a little bit outside.
It's great poise now for Wright State going into the third match point.
Sigler, calm pass back to Jackson, and it's out again. Sigler potentially calling for a touch, but Wright State hanging around. 24-20 Nebraska.
So a challenge is going to be had. So if this match ends on the challenge, a little bit anticlimactic way to end it, but we'll see right here. Andy Jackson.
And the call will stand, so that ball is out. And Wright State now within 4. Again, this is a must-win set for Wright State here, down 2-0. Nebraska with match point. This will be 4th match point. Lauren Yakabuchi at the service line. Good pass by Lainey Choboy, right back to Andy Jackson. 3rd time's a charm for Andy Jackson out of the middle. Nebraska takes set 3, 25-20.
And a fun set for both squads. Wright State shows up in this 3rd set, and they show a lot of resilience.